All right, Manchester United is yet interested in Sandro Tonali. If you've been following us for some time, United has been interested in Sandro Tonali for a very, very long time. I remember when we are in towards COVID, that is the summer of 2019, from 2018, that's when United got themselves linked to a player known as Sandro Tonali when he was still playing away in Italy before he even joined AC Milan. And now, looks like he's the guy that they're really looking at. We're also going to be talking about some statements that have been issued by the manager of Manchester United, that is Ruben Amorim. So smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David, he is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun. And please do the needful and really subscribe in here. So let's get into the story of Sandro Tonali. Manchester United have ambitious plans to sign Sandro Tonali from Newcastle United during the summer. United see Sandro Tonali as a perfect midfielder for Ben Amorim's system, and Christopher Vivel is big part of the pursuit of the Italian midfielder. That is Corey Dello Sport. They've gone ahead, obviously, come up and really tell us a little bit about this. So I'm here to really look into Sandro Tonali. Sandro Tonali is a player that we all love to see at Manchester United, but the big question is, do we have the money to obviously see him come to Manchester United? First and foremost, the money. If you know how much they bought him from AC Milan, they bought him for 70 million euros because he had a release clause and it was triggered by Newcastle, and that's when he became the player of Newcastle. So can we really pay more than that? If he came in through for 70, I tell you, with the season he has gone ahead to have, he has hit 100 million euros. That is it. And Newcastle are really selling expensively. If they brought in Alexander Isak for I think 68 million pounds or euros from Real Sociedad, and now they want close to 150 million euros for the player. That sends a message to you that they are not in a hurry to sell. So Sandro Tonali is a very big player, good player, and I know that the club of Manchester United is really showing huge intent to obviously have him here, and no one is obviously going to be stopping us from really discussing a deal of Sandro Tonali to Manchester United, because I know he's one of those midfielders that every team is interested to have in here at the club of Manchester United. So the other factor is the Champions League. Will United be playing the Champions League? Because as things stand, Newcastle looks like they've gone ahead, obviously, to really be one of the teams that are really going to be playing the Champions League next season. 36 games played, and they've gone ahead to have 66 points. They're even ahead of Man City. And if you have to look at the remaining fixtures, they have to play Arsenal, that is on the 18th, this Sunday, and they also have to play Everton. And I think they can win all these games. And even if the worst goes to the worst, they can really find themselves in the fourth position, because Man City is a team that you can't obviously bet on to going anywhere. And one will say, but Rokani, that is not really something, that's not really a big deal, because the club of Manchester United will also win the Europa League. Now, if you are a side called Newcastle, would you go to a side that has finished 16th in the league and leave a side that has finished in the top 4 to qualify to go ahead and really play in the Champions League? I understand United is a big club, we're a big team, and we all know to it that we have the big name, but we're no longer a strong team, we're no longer a big team, like we're no longer strong as we used to be. So the only factor that can obviously bring Sandro Tonali in there would have gone ahead to be money. If it was United of the yesteryears, I would have gone ahead to say or bet that it would have gone ahead to be possible for the club of Manchester United to see to it that they obviously get in Sandro Tonali, because they would have gone ahead to offer him a hefty weekly wage of like £300,000 a week to obviously coming through. So I don't think that we are into the right position to go ahead and really meet or get in Sandro Tonali. However much we love him, but it's really going to be a very, 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 very hard transfer for United to obviously do. Though I know that we are really having a competent board that can obviously discuss any deal, and us going back in the Champions League will obviously help us really spend big, because winning the UEFA Europa League will get us some huge amount of money, and will add on that amount of money we are going to get because we've gone ahead to qualify for the Champions League, meaning that we can go at anyone. And the other factor is that we will be signing another player in the Premier League, because for Matthias Cunha, we all know that he's coming to Manchester United. Not so. And for Sandro Tonali, I tell you what, if we sign another Premier League player, it's really going to be very important. And I told people that this is why I don't want us to obviously focus so much on bringing a centre forward first. If you tell me that Sandro Tonali goes in for like £85 million, that is 100 million euros, I would 100% say United cash in for the player. Cash in for the player. You understand? Because when you cash in, all will go on as planned. You understand? So, if you get in Cunha for 62, then £85 million for Sandro Tonali, that is close to £150 million for two players. Then we'll have to look in for other players of like 30-40 million pounds there, because if you get in Sandro Tonali and you keep Casemiro there, that means you will have gone ahead obviously have Ugarte, Sandro Tonali, double pivot, and Casemiro. That will obviously make some huge change, and Toby Collier, who can also do wonders. Then Sedu Kone might also come in through as an understudy. Then you add on to Matthias Cunha, who can really play as a centre forward and can also really play as a number 10. Then you can look around to obviously get in other players, that can obviously do the job, especially as wing backs, because I believe the centre forward should be the last player that United should be signing. I tell you this. If our creative department really improves hugely, I tell you, you'll see Man United really scoring very many goals and for fun. So we are waiting to see how far this deal goes, as Ruben Amorim is an admirer, and he knows to it that this guy can cover a lot of distance, because he can play as a defensive midfielder. He can also play as a box-to-box midfielder. And for me, I would rather have Manuel Ugarte play as a CDM and let this guy play what we call the box-to-box role, because he has proven to us that going forward, he has more technique than Manuel Ugarte. So that's what United is looking at. But don't forget that United looks so much into the past of the player. And the past of Sandro Tonali has a ban on him as being a player who really bets games. So that can be one of the factors that can obviously lead to Man United not obviously going in for this player. But he served his punishment, and maybe he might not be doing that again, because he tested the bitterness of his own medicine. So let's leave Sandro Tonali there, and we wait to hear from you, the viewers of United Matters channel, on whether this deal will obviously come to pass. Then Amorim, there won't be a new season like this. If we start like this, we have to make room for other people. And he's like, next season, United has to start on a high. That is it. And starting on a high means no room for performance like this. He came in through United, was 8th, and he has multiplied by 2 to 16th. So he knows what is at stake, and he knows to it that he really has, his bosses are really trigger happy. Them and sacking are almost into the same room. So he's like, no room for this. And the moment United starts badly, people will be like, we are getting more of the same like we got last season. That is it. So he has to obviously do all what he has to do in his favors to not start into the same way we really started, because pundits and pressure will pile and the players will be like, maybe something won't change, and people will be like, Amorim out. Something that I don't want to hear. I want to see Amorim here for 5 years, 5 full seasons. That's when I can say he has failed to transform Manchester United. That is it. So we wait and see, but for that to happen, he needs to obviously get in and win the Champions League, the UEFA Europa League, to get in the Champions League. I think that will buy him more time at the club of Manchester United, because we'll be in the Champions League. Even if you're performing badly in the league and you're winning the Champions League, you'll buy yourself time, because they'll be like, maybe you can go ahead and really win the Champions League, But if you're really performing badly in the Premier League and you fail to beat Spurs in the finals of the UEFA Europa League to qualify for the Champions League, you won't have any space at Manchester United. Yet I really want to keep this manager in here for some time. That's why 21st is really going to be very important into what United is supposed to do. Then Ruben Amorim said we are losing the feeling of being a massive club. Obviously, we've gone ahead to lose that for the biggest time that we've gone ahead to be here. And that happened ever since Alex Ferguson left, We've lost it all as the club of Manchester United. And if anyone tells you that we are fighting for something, I cannot really come out and tell you exactly what you're fighting in for as the club of Manchester United, because everything is really falling apart and they're trying to really rebuild it and see how we'll obviously get back to our glory days again. So your thoughts on to Man United interested in Sandro Tonali are welcome in the comment section below. Hugely ambitious to get in this player, and do you think he can solve our problems in the midfield? He's not an injury-prone player. He's that player that is really into that age bracket that you can obviously talk about at Manchester United, that Ineos really came in with as a consideration to buy a player. Sandro Tonali is 25 years of age, and he turned 25 on the 8th of May. That will be a very good signing, and if I'm United, I would break the bank to have him at the club of Manchester United. Would you? Bye-bye for now. See you later.